Are business mentorships a scam? Was the $200K that we spent on mentorships a waste of money? I'm going to give you the unbridled, uncircumcised truth on mentorships and the whole make money online world, because there's actually a very clear criteria for whether you should or you shouldn't sign up with a mentorship. And I'm also going to cover the one type of mentorship that actually is a scam, and I'll explain. But first, full disclosure, my name's Yusuf and we run a mentorship company. Oh, that's odd. Why is that? Nice try, Diddy. Why are you doing a video on this then? It's to save us both time so that you can make the right decision and you can relax and enjoy the show. Because by the end of this video, I want you to either book a call with us or rage quit on the idea of online coaching entirely. Hopefully, you can be like the thousands of people that we have helped, like the ones you're seeing on the screen right now, to grow their online coaching businesses. Okay, so I've declared my intent. First of all, we've all seen this meme. $50,000 client, wire sent, let's crush it. $499 client, I trust you with my life here. How soon can we see the return? It would be great if we can provide extra guarantee and discount for me to feel more comfortable. And please, can you work for free first? And can you give me a hug before we start the process? My kids need you to do well, okay? And please, I hope this isn't a scam. I'll send the money next month. $399, yes? Or if that didn't illustrate the point, there's this one, which is even more brazen. Being a Muslim in Europe is so hard. I cannot get a good job because companies are so racist. And someone said, why not come here in the UAE instead? It's a Muslim country, plenty of work for you, bro. He said, my visa application to go there got rejected because I have a criminal record at home. I can't even renew my passport yet. There it is. There's the real truth. Like, what's going on here for somebody to split off that truth and to blame everything else around them? I want to tell you a story about this. I've just heard the CoffeeZilla interview with an anonymous reviewer of Sam Ovens. Sam Ovens, if you don't know him, is one of the OG business programs. And this guy reviewing it was the most miserable person that I've seen. He had the most kind of know-it-all attitude, that saying that the training was rubbish and that he'd already seen it all before and it was just teaching the basics of business. And it was funny because if he had actually spent the time applying the methods, then he'd been too busy making money and not spending his time doing anonymous reviews of people that he's jealous of. And it's so interesting. I'll put the link in the description because as you're listening to him, you're just like, oh, there's no wonder this guy didn't do well with that kind of attitude. Essentially, he'd watched the modules, decided that he didn't like it, and said that he'd already read all of the books that the modules were referring to. And there's the answer. If he'd already read the books and hadn't acted on them by this point, and he's still searching for some secret, some answer, then clearly he didn't apply them. And Sam Ovens, his program is essentially a synthesis of the top 20 business books in the world, and then applying it to a course, condensing it into a consulting offer. And just think, like, the top 20 business books, like if you picked any one of them and really applied yourself to it, it would level up your life massively. So to synthesize the top 20 and say it was all rubbish, something's afoot there. And the course is like $1 or $2 grand. So even if you just made one high ticket sale from it, you've made a return. It was really funny watching this because we bought the program around the same time as this guy and we applied it. For us, it returned around $1 million in revenue that we can attribute to the program. So we were like, oh, that's funny, because we were both doing the same program, but he had a terrible time and we had a great time. Unfortunately, Sam's now discontinued it because he's gone all in on running school, his software offer. But this is kind of like the guy in the gym who looks at the professional bodybuilder and says, oh, they're doing it wrong and I know better. But for some reason, their physique looks like a dehydrated sausage. And I used to be that guy. I was high in knowledge and low in execution. And I was bitter about it as well. I used to think that the whole make money online world was a scammy circle jerk. But the funny truth is that if you just follow the method, it works. Isn't that amazing? The problem was that I had to prove it to myself to be able to let go of the belief. And it turns out it was just sour grapes all along. So what's the catch? Like, why is there a whole make money online world that if you just follow the process, it works well? Well, take a guess. Like, is all of online fitness a scam? Because you and I will both know somebody who follows loads of fitness accounts. They listen to loads of fitness podcasts. They watch fitness videos. They follow all the influencers, and they're not in shape. Why not? Because they don't go to the gym. They don't train. Like, just think about that. They consume all the information, but they just don't bridge the gap to do the thing which is going to get the result. If you earnestly follow any program, regardless of the quality of the information, you will get a return on investment. Like, you are the missing piece. It's the intersection between you and the program, the course, the book, the mentorship.
I had someone say this recently to me. They're like, how do you know what programs to buy? How do you know what workshops to go to? How do you know what courses to listen to or what channels to watch in order to learn, right? And they're like, how do you know that it's gonna work? And I think that's the question that always gets asked, is like, how do you know it's gonna work? And I think that fundamentally asking that question shows that it won't work, because it is never going to be the thing that works. You are going to be the thing that makes it work. And so when I look back at my history as a student of, and I continue to be a student, but a student of the game of business, I have yet to have a negative ROI on any purchase that I've made, whether it's tutoring, courses, workshops. And to be fair, I've bought from bad people. I've bought from some scumbags. I've bought from bad teachers, but I have absolutely ROI'd every single purchase that I've made. And so whenever I hear someone say, like, I bought something and it didn't work, it kind of grinds my gears.
And yeah, of course, like, depending on the program that you get, you're going to get different levels of experience and support and team and so on. But the main lesson is that your mindset determines whether or not you will execute. The actual stuff isn't that hard, particularly if you're following a blueprint. So if you're somebody who has a snotty attitude to everything, then that's just going to get in the way of you making progress with anything. It's global. Because rather than doing the reps, you're wasting energy on blaming and making excuses and so on. And your business is a vessel for your personal growth, and it will highlight all of your blind spots. Any personal limits that you have will apply a limit to your bank account. And so the great news is that as soon as you can shine the light on that and become aware, you fix that, and then you see the reflection in your bank account. So this isn't just a nice to have, like, this is absolutely essential to get to the next level in your personal and your business growth. You get the business that you are capable of handling, not the business that you want. The problem, though, is that if someone has a globally snotty attitude, they are the last person to be able to see it. And so the best approach to be able to kind of shine that light of consciousness on it is therapy. And we all have hidden belief structures and childhood conditioning that get in the way of our growth. So what's a good sign that you might have something that's holding you back? For example, if you have been with a previous mentorship who was a dick and a scam, and your ex was also a dick and a scam, and you think that competition are the reason that you haven't had more success, you're blaming the algorithm and your ex-wife and your boss for your lack of progress. Mentorships compress time. That is all they do. They are the multiplier of your efforts. They give you the direction and so on, and they just accelerate the journey by saving you trial and error. So if you're not applying the effort already, you're not making progress towards your goal already, then trying to accelerate that is just multiplying by zero. I want you to do something over the next few days. When you're out shopping, when you're on Amazon, whatever, start reading reviews for things that you have that you already know are good. Look at the comments on the ads for those companies and read the 1-star reviews. You will see some angry people arguing with the inside of their mind. It's incredible. It's so consistent when you see it. And Instagram ads are the perfect example. Just look at comments on ads for anything, and you see how angry and projecting people are. And they're often arguing or triggered in the comments by something in the ad that wasn't even said in the ad. It's just total projection. It's so interesting to see. Tim Ferriss talks about this. He says, when you're looking at product reviews, ignore the 1-star and the 5-star reviews, because those are the evangelists on either side. The classic 1-star delivery driver was rude, or like item didn't arrive, 1-star customer service. Like, these things have nothing to do with the product. And even with mentorships as well, information products and services, Someone's like, oh, it was shit. It was such a scam. I didn't get any clients from it. And you look a bit deeper and you go, oh, that's surprising because that mentor has a great track record and their content is really good and their credibility and their method is great. But their mentorship was absolutely terrible. And you see like, oh, did they follow the process? Well, no, I was busy and my girlfriend broke up with me at the time and I didn't end up launching. And, okay, cool. So basically you had a bad time in your life. And so everything was bad. And you didn't apply the mentorship. So you've got to look at the full context. We get hundreds and hundreds of positive, raving reviews. And we also get, shock horror, bad reviews. And we post them on the website because we want you to be able to see the full picture so that you can see what the people were doing who had a positive experience and had a negative experience for the same program. And then you can make a decision about whether you will be the kind of person who will be successful or unsuccessful. And of course, we're not perfect. Sometimes we drop the ball, we try and rectify things, we'll offer you a coach swap if it's not a good fit. But usually it comes down to expectations and execution. One guy that I spoke to after working with him for 4 months, and he was kind of dragging his feet, he was being quite slow with doing things, he was overthinking his niche and his launch and his challenge and so on, was furious at the 4-month point because he hadn't got any clients. And I sat down and said, okay, let's help you diagnose this and move forward. So what's your client goal? He said 20. Like, okay, cool. Have you launched your workshop, which is the automated selling system that brings in clients? No. Okay, so you haven't launched the client acquisition mechanism to help you get your clients and move you towards your goal. All right, well, how many leads have you spoken to? 6. Okay, cool story. So I wish that we were magic enough to help you achieve a 400% conversion rate, but we're not. Like if you want 20 clients, but you've spoken to 6 people, can you see the disconnect? And I'm not saying this to make fun of him. Like, we helped him realign. He saw that and he was like, oh God, yeah, of course. Like, my inputs don't match my goal. And we moved forward and got a plan and he's smashing it now. The point is that there's a gradual inflation of expectations as the gurus start to claim wilder and wilder things online in their ads. So, for example, I saw this on one of Charlie Morgan's ads. He's a legit guy, very hardcore kind of lead gen stuff. Now, he has a guarantee, I believe, of 20 clients in 6 months. And the comments on his ads said, 180 days is long, so it's probably legit, but it's long. Why does it take 6 months? How much, as we have just started and need our next 20 clients in 90 days? We've just started and we need 20 clients in the next 90 days. Like, absolutely nuts that on day 1 of business, you think that things are so urgent that you need 20 clients in 90 days. Otherwise, it's a complete scam. There's no point in signing up with this. People's expectations have become so skewed that even what he's using as the hook for his marketing angle, 20 clients in 6 months, phenomenal result. And that is like, oh my God, that's so long. Unbelievable. And the funny thing is that with those expectations, the people commenting, even if they were to just get 20 clients in the next 6 months, they would not be able to handle them and they would lose them straight away because their mindset, their attitude to business is broken. And you can see that from the tip of the iceberg of their mindset that it is broken. You know how long it took us to get our first client? 2 years. 2 years, we didn't know what we were doing. And so if someone was able to compress time and share a blueprint that would allow us to get our first client within weeks or months, that would be phenomenal, be incredible. Imagine if someone signed up with you, didn't follow your program, expected the results by osmosis, and then concluded that personal training, the entire world of personal training, is a scam. Like, it just takes one person who actually got into shape by working with a personal trainer to kind of disprove that. Obviously, there'll always be a variation in people's results, but sometimes people will ask, I want proof that your system works for male vegan yoga teachers in Japan who have a pet turtle. Or do you work with anyone who is 5'10.5"? Like, as I say, we've got hundreds of case studies that you can look at, but the place that question is coming from is wanting absolute certainty that you and your unique situation it's going to work. You're never going to get that. That's the point of running an online business. If you want absolute certainty, go and get a job. Like, the alpha that you generate as an entrepreneur is from taking the risk. It's your risk tolerance. So if you're looking for a money-back guarantee from somebody, don't bother. And if anyone tells you that, run. Because that's not how business and marketing works. No one can force somebody to buy your stuff. We got a message from someone this week saying that he was burned by a previous mentor who promised a money-back guarantee and wants to know if we offer one as well. We don't offer a money-back guarantee. I wonder if this guy had also asked for a refund on his degree or his school education as well. Can you offer a weight loss money-back guarantee to your clients? No, because you can't stop them from joining the Colonel's Club and spending the evening with Ben and Jerry, Benjamin and Jeremiah. And this stuff probably seems really facile and obvious from the outside, but why is it that somebody who has that kind of low agency victim mindset expecting to get an education program and for it to kind of magic a result for them, why do we hold on to that? What's going on? It's because from childhood we absorb beliefs and old scripts that get into us before we have the ability to kind of critically appraise them and figure out, are they actually serving us as adults? Old scripts like, it's all somebody else's fault. You are the one who chose your beliefs. Maybe you chose them before you were fully conscious, but now is the time to re-examine them and figure out, is it serving me right now? Is it taking me to my goals? And if not, you can change them. We think that we're stuck with them forever. The reason that we hold on to victim beliefs is that there's a payoff to them. In this case, the payoff is safety. I'm good, they're bad. It can't work for me. The game is rigged. Nice try, Diddy. It's why people like, what's that guy, Gary Stevenson, Gary's Economics, has been so popular. Because it's such a convenient, it's not my fault. It's the billionaires. The reason that my business is struggling is not because I've never been able to stick to something for more than 3 days, and not because I don't have any kind of valuable service or skill set to offer and because I'm bad at marketing it. No, it's the billionaire's fault. It's such a warm, fuzzy, controllable thing to be able to outsource that. And that's the payoff. But the hidden side effect of that is that you've also denied any agency over your own reality with that belief. So see if it serves you. There's a great book by Eric Berne called Games People Play. It's an absolute classic, and it's basically this idea that humans are always playing games, which are characterized by an offer and a payoff. So one of the ones that you'll be very familiar with if you've ever coached somebody or if you've got people like this in your family is called Why Don't You Yes But? So let me read this out. The Why Don't You Yes But game occupies a special place in game analysis because it was the original stimulus for the concept of games. It's most commonly played at parties and groups of all kinds, and the following example will illustrate. White. My husband always insists on doing our own repairs, and he never builds anything right. Black. Why doesn't he take a course in carpentry? White. Yeah, but he doesn't have time. Blue. Why don't you buy him some good tools? White. Yes, but he doesn't know how to use them. Red. Why don't you have your building done by a carpenter? White. Yes, but that would cost too much. Brown. Why don't you just accept that what he does is the way he does it? White. Yes, but the whole thing might fall down. Such an exchange is typically followed by a silence. It's eventually broken by Green, who may say something like, well, that's men for you, just trying to show you how efficient they are. Why Don't You Yes But can be played by any number. The agent presents a problem, and the others start to present solutions, each beginning with, why don't you, ... To each of these, White replies with, yes but. A good player can stand off the others indefinitely until they all give up, whereupon White wins. In many situations, she might have to handle a dozen or more solutions to engineer the crestfallen silence, which signifies her victory. We all know people like that. You can see the payoff there. What she wants in that situation is to hold on to this kind of victim identity of, no one can help me, I guess I'm a lost cause. Coaches fail to make it online because they either don't know what reps to do, or they don't do the reps. And a mentor can help with both. They can give you a roadmap and accountability. But the people who fail with a mentor, with a proper roadmap that's appropriate for them and accountability, are the ones who find ways every day to wriggle out of doing the daily reps, the target volume. They will delay their launch until next year. They'll say that they don't like social media, that their program isn't perfect yet, and life's a bit busy at the minute, and maybe they haven't picked the right app yet, and they overthink their niche, and they tell themselves stories about imposter syndrome and all that kind of stuff. But eventually what happens is the shame catches up with them. And then they go into the shame cave. Because by that point, when you've eliminated every single obstacle in the way of someone's progress and they're still not moving forward, that's a very painful thing to admit, including having a portal, an oracle of infinite intelligence at your fingertips that you can ask anything and can do your work for you, and you're still the problem. Like, that's a very painful thing. And so you have to go into the shame cave. It's even more embarrassing because you're a coach and you're aspirational. You're supposed to help clients with exactly that, to help them get out of their own way. And so the mind keeps you safe by telling stories. You know, oh, my last 4 mentors were terrible and that's why I'm in a court case with every one of them, and no one can help me, and my ex-wife, and I've been shadow banned by the algorithm, and that's the reason for my lack of success. The subconscious mind is running the show, and that's the elephant, and you are the little rider. And the subconscious mind is the mass of all of your beliefs and biases and things, and it's just tipping you towards failure. And even though you think that you want success, something is driving you back to the old scripts and the old identity, which if you don't get rid of, you will continue playing out the same results every time. We are not therapists, and we are not equipped or qualified to deal with that subconscious reprogramming and belief structures and all that kind of stuff. Therapy is fantastic for that, to help you see your blind spots, and so is journaling, so is working with a performance coach and so on. And it's cheap. It's like 50 quid an hour. And the return on investment from therapy, if you have the brakes on in terms of business and your personal finances, the return is phenomenal. So 100% worth doing it. So if you suspect that you have beliefs that are holding you back, you feel like you need excessive hand-holding, you're having constant crises, you're emotionally dysregulated, you can get that stuff sorted. It's not a death sentence. And then once you fix that, it'll unlock new levels of growth in your life. Anyway, back to, is business mentorship a scam? There are some great coaches in the industry. Adam Haley, James Smith, Mark Coles, John Goodman, Matt Peacock, Dan Smith, loads of others. And they all teach different methods to us, generally around organic social media optimization and sales. The best thing to do when you're looking for a mentor is just look for somebody who has a track record, teaches what they do, and they teach the business or the outcome that you want. So if you want to go down the personal brand route and build that, then find someone who's good at that stuff, or the marketing route, or the sales route, or the high ticket, the ads, the low ticket, whatever. Each model works, and each model comes with its own pros and cons. The only actual scams are plagiarists, so copy-paste mentors who just rip off other people's work. It's happened to us. It's very clear when it happens. The person doing it doesn't understand the principles. It's like they've watched The Doctor's Office from the window, and then they've got out their own Fisher-Price stethoscope and Playmobil reflex hammer, thinking that they can copy it without having actually gone through med school. And then there's also just plain fraudulent activity. Things like pyramid schemes, undeclared affiliate programs posing as unbiased reviews, anyone who doesn't honor their contract. That's kind of standard criminal stuff, but it's quite rare. So the main thing to do is just ask, how do they make their money? If it's not clear, then that's a bit of a concern. So in the trading world, there's free trading platforms, commission-free trading platforms. But the way that they make their money is they sell the order data and the trading volume to hedge funds, and then they front-run the trades. So they're basically farming the data. So we're very clear about how we make our money. You pay us, and we give you everything you need to build a mid-ticket program to 30-plus clients if you follow the steps, use the templates, install the system, with a clear set of contractual deliverables that we give you and a lifetime guarantee. And it's all public on our website. So the difference between the people who are successful and unsuccessful, receiving the same deliverables, is execution. There's no secrets. You can literally see me going through the entire program on this channel. So if you see that and you're like, whoa, that's not what I want, that looks like too much work, because it's 5 hours of work for me to go from start to finish, then don't sign up and just take a look at our free stuff instead. Oh, BRB, I need to take this call and I'll be back in a moment. Ironically, I had to dip out there to have a call with our mentor. Anyway, what we were saying is, based on everything we've covered, how can we offer a guarantee? And it's because we filter our applicants. We want you to be successful. But if you show us signs that you're not going to be successful, then we'd rather you just didn't book and save us both the time and headache and help us preserve our track record. So you don't have to grow an online coaching business. You could just continue doing what you're doing right now. Like, it's not essential. Don't believe a lot of the hustle porn that everyone needs to be an entrepreneur and to, do e-com, crypto, dropshipping or whatever. We don't take everyone on, and we are happy to have that conversation with you if we don't think that you're right for building an online business. Like, we have a stringent process because we want our success rate to be high. And yes, that is cherry picking, because we put a lot of time and effort into helping you succeed. And from the moment you engage with us, we are your coach. We will hold you accountable and encourage you to take personal responsibility for your business. We're not a done-for-you agency. We are the guide with a sat-nav. So that's why we reject 70% of applications to work with us. And if we were selling a standalone course and we could just be like, hey, yeah, come in, we'll take your money, see you later, whatever, then that's a different business model. But with a mentorship, like, we are walking the path together. And it's kind of the reason for this video as well. You don't want to be the kind of person who buys 5 sat-navs, sat-nav, that's a very 2015 reference, and then keeps them in the box and doesn't get to their destination. And it's like, I still didn't get, you're like, no, take it out the box, plug it in, press go on it, like, follow the process. As a coach, you are supposed to be a leader. You are an aspirational person. And if you're not, then why would somebody hire you? If you're asking another person, hey, what should I ask GPT? Like, this is the kind of low agency behavior that means that you're not going to convert sales because your clients see that passivity in you as well. Also, I've been that guy, and I've not been the best client. Like, we have spent thousands on mentorships with bad timing when my dad died and when I was admitted to hospital as a patient, when I was working in hospital and going through med school and busy times at work and so on. We spent 80K on a program that we didn't check in with our coach with for months. And that's not their problem. That's on us. Like, they're not there to babysit us. Finally, if you are not sure who you can help, what you can help them with, and you're not confident that you can actually do it, then why do you feel entitled to somebody paying you on autopilot for that service? So we just need to base things in reality and offer something of value so that people pay you for it, you can help them hit their goals, and everyone's happy. We specialize in helping online coaches to build an automated selling system. But we're not wizards, and you have to be able to solve a problem before you can automate solving of that problem and put it in front of more people. But the great news is that if you stack the pieces in the right order first, then the rest will follow. So this stuff I said about take off the brakes, deal with your limiting beliefs, deal with your unconscious biases and hang-ups around money and all that kind of stuff, I've got a video on that below if you're interested. Then solve a problem for a specific person. Step 1, get your product market match. So your offer and your niche. Build out a sales mechanism that you can then run in the background. And then when people buy, give them an amazing experience that makes them want to stay for months and months. There you go. You've got an online coaching business. So step 1 is getting that offer and that niche nailed. And I got you, bro. Have a look at this video.